talking about someone who is said to walk through time itself, someone with a kind of knowledge that, well, it just completely defies human understanding. I mean, think about it for a second. Could there really be an immortal man walking among us? It's a wild thought, right? Someone who has literally seen empires rise and fall, and who could be standing right next to you in line for coffee, and you'd have no idea. For millions of people, this isn't just a legend. It's a reality, and it's embodied in one single mysterious person. And his name is Khidr. Now, he's a figure mentioned in the Quran, though not directly by name, as a very special servant of God. And here's the thing about him. He's a guide whose actions can seem bizarre. Honestly, sometimes even just plain wrong. But hidden inside those actions is a profound divine wisdom. He kind of represents the absolute limit of our understanding and the vastness of a reality that we just can't see. So let's get to know this immortal stranger a little better. Who is this guy? What makes him so unique? Well, it all comes down to a very, very special kind of knowledge he possesses. It's called ilm laduni. And look, this isn't the kind of knowledge you get from books or going to school. Nope. This is a direct connection to divine truth. It's a gift. A gift that lets someone see the hidden patterns, the future outcomes of everything. And you have to understand this, because it's the absolute key to figuring out why Khidr does what he does. So, his name, Khidr, actually means the green one. And the story behind that is so cool. Legend says that wherever he sat, even on totally barren land, green grass would just spring up around him. He's believed to be alive right now, today, not bound by time or space, and able to take on any form he wants, which means, yeah, you could have met him and you would never ever know it. Okay, so his most famous story, the one everyone talks about, involves a journey with another absolute giant of history, the prophet Moses. And the whole thing kicks off with a major lesson in humility. So the scene is set right after a big victory. Moses, who is this incredibly revered prophet, gets asked a simple question. Is there anyone on earth more knowledgeable than you? And he pretty confidently says, I don't know of anyone. Look, it was an honest answer, but it was an answer that was about to get let's call it a divine correction. And that revelation is what sends Moses on this epic quest. He's told, flat out, that he has to find this other servant of God, someone whose wisdom is even greater than his. And this journey, man, it's going to challenge everything he thinks he knows about right and wrong, about justice, about the very nature of reality itself. Now, the instructions he gets for finding Khidr are, well, they're pretty weird. He's supposed to take a salted fish with him on his journey, and the exact spot where that fish, a dead salted fish, mind you, comes back to life, that's the meeting point. So after traveling for a super long time, it happens. The fish miraculously wriggles free and escapes into the sea. And when they retrace their steps back to that spot, there he is, a man cloaked in green, just waiting for them. So Moses asks if he can follow Khidr, to learn from him. And Khidr says yes, but there's a huge catch. One condition. Moses is not allowed to question anything he does, not a single thing, until Khidr himself decides it's time to explain. And this right here is where the real test of faith and patience kicks in. Okay, so their journey starts. They get on a boat that belongs to some poor fishermen who are super kind and give them a ride for free. But then, out of nowhere, Khidr just starts breaking the boat. He literally punches a hole in the hull. For anyone watching, this is just a senseless, cruel act of destruction against people who literally just helped them. And Moses, you have to remember, this is a man of law, of justice. He just can't stay quiet. He completely forgets his promise and confronts Khidr, totally bewildered by what looks like pure, unadulterated malice. Khidr just calmly reminds him, hey, what was our deal? Moses apologizes, says he'll be more patient, and they move on. But oh boy, the tests are about to get so much worse. What happens next is, honestly, it's the most shocking and disturbing part of the whole story. They come across a group of kids playing, and with zero warning, Khidr walks up to a young boy and kills him. This time, Moses is just horrified. I mean, this is the murder of an innocent child. To him, it's the ultimate crime. He just erupts, totally convinced he's witnessing pure evil. And that's when Khidr gives him one final warning. Ask one more question, and this journey is over. They're done. So they get to a town where the people are just awful. totally hostile, they won't give them any food or shelter. And yet, as they're leaving, Khidr sees this crumbling wall and just starts rebuilding it. For free. For these people who were so rude to them. And Moses, completely baffled at this point, just can't help himself. He asks, why wouldn't you at least ask for payment from these ungrateful people? And that's it. The third question. The deal is broken. And that's the moment. Their paths have to split. But before they go their separate ways, Khidr finally makes good on his promise. He's about to reveal the true hidden reality behind those 3 absolutely baffling acts. Okay, so the boat. That hole he put in it, it was actually a blessing. Khidr knew that a tyrant king was just around the corner, seizing every single perfect boat he could find. By damaging it just a little, he saved it for the poor fishermen. And the young boy? This is the tough one. Khidr saw his future. He knew the boy would grow up to cause his devout parents unimaginable suffering and turn them away from their faith. His death, as tragic as it was, actually saved their souls. And finally, that wall? It was protecting a hidden treasure left for 2 young orphans. By rebuilding it, Khidr made sure that treasure would stay safe until they were old enough to find it themselves. And Khidr makes one thing crystal clear. I didn't do this on my own. These weren't his choices. He was just an instrument of divine will, acting on a knowledge so far beyond what any human can see. So what looked like chaos, what looked like total injustice, was actually on a much deeper level an act of incredible mercy and protection. So, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? What's the final lesson? Well, it all comes down to one really powerful metaphor that just puts everything into perspective. Imagine them standing there on the shore of this huge ocean. A little bird swoops down, dips its beak into the water, and flies away with just a single drop. And then Khidr turns to Moses, and he tells him, our knowledge, yours and mine, is like that one single drop of water. But God's knowledge, that's the entire ocean. It's an incredibly humbling lesson, right? It means that what we know, even what the wisest people on earth know, is just tiny compared to the boundless ocean of divine knowledge. We see an action, but we don't see the reason behind it. We feel pain, but we can't see the hidden purpose. The story is really suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's a greater wisdom unfolding in the things that seem senseless or even tragic to us. And that leaves all of us with a really deep question to think about in our own lives. When you're facing a struggle, something that just feels totally unfair, is it possible there's a deeper reality at play? Could there be a hidden good, kind of like that damaged boat, that's actually saving you from some worse fate that you just can't see?